Liv, I'm really into this stuff.
I love that.
We should actually go.
I just want to go outside and loiter around just to...
That is really scary, isn't it? Welcome back to another episode of Private Parts with me, Tom Lucy.
And me, Liv Bentley. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits.
Each week, we will read the most intimate and sordid details of our lives from our diaries. Halloween special, Liv.
I had the most terrifying morning.
Okay, come on.
I'm actually not joking about this. I went downstairs into my sitting room before coming here to get a packet of cigarettes, which I keep in a brick in the corner of my sitting room.
And always a healthy way to start the day.
Yes, with a coffee. Anyway,
Yes,
as
yes.
as I walked into this room, we have these long curtains, and one of them moved, and I was like, "That's weird. The window's not open." But I sort of ignored it because I thought it was early. As I got closer, a fucking cat jumped out from behind the curtain.
Oh my God.
I don't own a cat. I hate cats.
A cat was in your house?
A black cat. Yeah.
A black cat. Wow. Black cat is pretty spooky stuff, huh? Is it good luck or bad luck to have a black cat?
I don't know. I thought that if a black cat if a black cat crosses your path, it's bad luck.
Is it either good luck or bad luck? I've heard either way.
I fucking hate cats, if I'm totally honest with you. They scare me. I think if it came near me, it might scratch my eyes out. Like, they're so aggressive. So I screamed and I was like, Rory, you need to come and deal with this.
Yeah.
So he runs down the stairs naked, didn't scare the cat, and then instead of helping me, ran back up the stairs and locked himself in the bedroom.
So he's not very helpful.
No. So now I've come here and now I'm hoping when I get home the cat's gone.
Or Rory's still locked in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And the cat's just
there.
running amok in the house.
This one had a white beard, so it was like I had a bit of
Had
white
a
on
white
it.
beard.
I had white somewhere. It was fucking huge. And so what happened is I went into the sitting room. Anyway, it kept jumping up and smacking the glass window. Obviously not really. It was trying to get out.
Yeah.
And I think I startled it. So instead it ran at me, flew into another room, took down my laundry line. It was a really, can I be honest, it was a very stressful morning.
Oh my God.
And
Sounds stressful.
it kept hitting the window and I was like, yeah, come. And
What, like when a fly's trying to get out and it's just flying against the window?
It's a full-grown fucking cat though. It's slightly different. It kept like that.
How did it get in the house?
I leave windows open at night, obviously, just to, the airflow. And I'm assuming the cat got in.
The cat got in.
And then maybe accidentally shut the window behind itself. It's a lot though, isn't it?
That is a full-on morning, isn't it?
And Rory and I aren't really animal people. Like I'm not.
You're not. We've been over the fact that you're not into pets, really.
No, and cats even. I'd take dogs over cats. I just don't like. They're just a bit. They're scary, and this one sort of hissed at me, and I was like, ooh.
What's that theory that in relationships you get like one of them's a black cat and one of them's like a golden retriever in relationships? Because I would have had you down as a kind of black cat type person.
Wait, sorry, you mean as in a relationship one likes dogs and one likes cats?
No, I mean like personality wise, one is like a sort of cat.
A dark omen, that's what you're saying basically.
No, like a cat is a bit more difficult to get close to. You know, they're not as openly, they're not as like warm as a.
I'm quite warm.
You are warm. I'm not trying to say this in a non-offensive way. I would imagine you take longer to come around in a relationship.
So you're gonna stop at cum?
You take.
Sorry.
I don't know that.
No, we don't.
But like that's what I've heard is that it's like a black cat and a golden retriever. They go well together.
Yeah, I can see that. Although I don't know. I think
quite cat-like in the sense that you're a bit sort of
hairy,
independent.
You're barking up the wrong tree, if I'm totally honest.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not a cat.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a cat.
You're more of a dog.
Oh, I'd say I'm agile at times.
You break in through strangers' windows.
I break in through strangers' windows and sort of prance around behind their curtains.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Well, what would you be? The golden retriever and Olivia would be the cat.
Do you think I'm more of a cat or a dog?
I think you'd probably be more on the cat side.
Really?
Yeah.
A bit colder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another useless piece of information. I don't believe that women and men are like cats and dogs, or like that in relationships one's a cat and one's a dog.
I think it is.
Was that part of the? That wasn't part of the thing.
That's not part of the Halloween show.
Okay.
That's just a little extra fact for you there. I thought you'd like to know. It is Halloween.
I love Halloween.
Of course you do.
I just love any celebration.
Any excuse to go mental.
No.
What are you doing for Halloween this year? In fact, I know what you're doing.
Because you're coming with me.
But tell the listeners what you're doing.
My sister's Halloween house warming cross with a Halloween party.
Oh, she's moved.
She's she's been there. This is my older sister. Have you met my older sister?
I don't think I have.
She's amazing, but yeah, she's throwing a Halloween housewarming party.
Wow.
Yeah, fancy dress.
And is she going to go like all out with the decorations?
She knows how to throw a party.
Really?
Yeah, she's very good at it.
So what will she have there? Get me excited about what's going to be there.
You're asking the wrong person. I don't really know.
What was her last one like? Was there a band?
I went over to her house the other day and she's got like a Halloween wreath on the thing on the front door.
So
It's
she
like
goes
band.
full in. You know, in America, Halloween is just a huge thing. Have you ever been in America when it's Halloween?
No, but
Every single house is like decorated.
I rate that though.
Do you?
How weird is this? Sorry, it's just reminded me of something. My my old housemate was doing the indefinite leave to remain test, and one of the questions was which country started Halloween.
Which country started Halloween?
Was it country or where? Who started Halloween? America or the States?
Yeah.
But why would that be on an English?
I don't know. I would have guessed America as well because it's a bit of a excuse to sell things, maybe. If I was being really cynical.
You are cynical. I would say it's an excuse to celebrate things.
Yeah, see, that's the difference between me and you.
But
I'm a cat.
And
you're
I'm a
dog.
golden. I'm a dog. Actually, in this relationship, that would be true.
Yeah.
But I really like that. I love celebrating things.
Yeah.
Like I love Valentine's, Easter.
Anything with a
Anything.
greetings card. You're into it. So have you ever thrown a Halloween party?
Yeah, my mum did when we were younger. It was amazing.
What did she do?
She
dressed as an old witch?
She was young then.
Sorry, a young witch?
Yeah, she was. My mum was actually like through amazing parties. She got a family friend to lie and pretend to be dead in the middle of our like snooker table, and then she got boxes all around him and filled them with different things, and we had to stick our hand in and guess which body part it was. Like she was really clever. My mum's really like clever with stuff like that. Yeah. So
who's the person who had to be dead all
just a
evening?
family friend.
Well, they were happy to just lie there and be dead all evening.
Yeah.
That's
like
it's a shit evening for them, isn't it?
No, he got up at halfway through. But I like fun stuff like that.
That is good. Why did she stop doing those parties?
Because we all hit 30.
Yeah, it's got to
Too
stop
old.
at some point, isn't it?
Although we do still get stockings from Santa.
Do you think they should have Halloween presents? Like
No,
you
that's
give
too
people
much.
presents
Too
for
much.
Halloween?
You give people sweets.
Sweet. What about where you live? I reckon is quite big trick or treating. No?
Yeah, but I'm a bit old. If I went trick or treating, it'd be
No,
odd.
but do kids come to your house?
No.
Because there's a big sign saying "fuck off."
Well, I leave a bowl and I put a note saying "please take one," even if it's just an empty bowl, so the other kids will think more kids are coming and ignore them, so they know.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm fucking joking. Obviously,
That's good.
It's an evil thing.
Maybe
to do.
me and you could go trick or treating together, and we could record it for the podcast.
What and end up at Edward Davenport's parties?
Yeah. He has a big Halloween party.
The thing is though, when you're a kid, trick or treating, it's two different things, right?
Yeah.
So when you're younger, it's really fun. And you're like slightly scared.
Yeah.
When you're older, it's like a sort of sex party vibe, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, you know it is. So don't look at me like that.
Yeah, it changes, doesn't it? What's a good if there's anyone listening who's thinking I don't know what to go as for Halloween, what's a good outfit idea? What are you going to go as this year?
I don't know. It's really fucking hard.
Have you worked it out yet?
No, I haven't.
Maybe go into your hydraulic bed and see what's under there.
There's a lot under there.
Get a ball gag out from under there.
And a butt plug. Yeah, I don't know.
That's pretty scary.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's weird though. If for someone who
Why don't you go as a American cheerleader?
I think I've actually done that.
Yeah, why don't you do that? But like cover yourself in blood and all that.
I know. I actually just remembered I did do that once, but I dressed as Miley Cyrus. I think Miley Cyrus in a music video once wore a cheerleader's outfit, and I said I used to have short bleach blonde hair, still fucking do. So I used to always dress as her for some weird reason.
What should I go as to your sister's party?
James Haskell.
Pretty scary. Nothing scarier than a retired rugby player.
Yeah, for someone who actually quite likes themes, I don't know.
Okay.
I enjoy things like that, but I don't plan ahead with that sort of thing.
You just go with the flow.
Yeah, because my room's full of wigs and outfits. I mean,
You live in like a toy shop, don't you?
yeah, pretty much.
There's an amazing fancy dress shop on Shaftesbury Avenue in Soho. Like a massive 5-floor fancy dress shop.
But is it like cheap and cheerful, funny?
No,
costume?
it's like really good stuff. And it's really it's been there for like decades. It's really famous.
See, that's quite cool. On Made in Chelsea, we on occasion, I think it was my birthday and we did a Marie Antoinette themed birthday. And
That's good.
everyone wore these amazing costumes.
Yeah,
I
that's
quite
good.
like that. I like the sort of more like actual costumes than that sort of naff thing you had on for Oktoberfest last week.
Yeah.
Do you know
You
what I
didn't
mean?
like that? Well, I liked it.
I know you did, but it's sort of that. Actually, that's more telling about who we are as people.
What's...
Authentic.
Do you want to finish that?
No.
What's the scariest thing you've done at Halloween?
I took 2 pingers once.
Okay, great. How scary was that?
Fucking terrifying.
Was it?
And I was wearing my leather bra, so it was all booting off. I was like having a heart attack. I was coming.
Why don't you do that at your sister's party this year?
I'm too old for it now.
Have you ever had a paranormal experience?
No, No, I don't think I actually have. Although in our family home that we used to live in, my mum had the priest came over and did the whole exorcism thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that is quite scary.
Yeah.
So what was wrong with the house that he had to come round?
We had this, I think, this sweet like nanny / housekeeper who used to wake up in the night and saw an old woman sitting at the end of her bed.
Okay, so that's quite scary.
So my sweet mother got.
So your mum got the priest round.
Yeah, we were too young to remember. Like I do not remember this, and they told us all later on in life. And then also, actually, a woman died in the house. The previous owner.
So actually, quite a lot's happened in the house.
Some weird, yeah. Actually, this is a bit odd. This is odd. The woman who it was a couple who used to live in the house. This is the one I used to live in. So like this is years ago. The wife died in the house. Anyway, she was convinced the husband was having an affair or something. I probably got this wrong. Anyway, years after the woman died, a business card was found in one of the sitting rooms, and it was the name and the number of the woman who was having the affair with, or something really strange.
Oh, right. Okay.
Something odd. I probably told that completely wrong. My mum's going to listen going,
that almost sounds like a plot to some movie or something.
Something odd like that, yeah.
Is it right that if you buy a house, that the estate agent has to tell you if someone's died in it? Is that a law?
Oh, you see that in like American films.
But I think that might be a law, that they have to disclose that information.
If it was like a brutal family murder, perhaps.
Yeah.
But like if an old bag just,
slipped away.
Yeah.
I once stayed in a hotel in Nottingham when I was on tour, and the guy I was touring with, we Googled the hotel to find out how to get there. And the first thing that came up was this news story about this really brutal murder that happened in this hotel like a year ago. And we were like, oh my God, fucking hell, this is scary. This really awful murder happened in one of the rooms. And we read the article, and it said, so-and-so Hotel Nottingham, really terrible murder. And then it had the room number. It said room like 701.
It was yours.
So we were like, oh my God, fucking hell. So we checked into the hotel, and they were like, you're 512 or something. And we were like, should we go to the 7th floor and like go to 701 or whatever the room was? So we went up in the lift to the 7th floor, and we were walking down the corridor, and it went like 698, 699, 700, 702, 703. So they had just got rid of
the
room 701. So it was obviously still there, but they just didn't have 701 written on the door anymore.
I would have had to look inside though.
Because they were like, no one's going to want to stay in that room anymore.
What was the murder?
I think it might have been like a prostitute got killed in the room. It was something really brutal and awful. But the hotel had just taken 701 off the door. Yeah, so the room was still there, but it was probably now 702 or 703. Because nobody wants to stay in that room.
I thought you meant they just took the number away and kept the room there.
That would be worse.
Well, no, it wouldn't, because then you, like, if
you couldn't get in there. You know what, theatres... I know this from like touring around, but theatres are like the most haunted places in the country.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because they're really old normally.
Theatres and hotels would be.
There's a theatre in the West End.
What's that horrible thing I watched the other day with Jack Nicholson? What's that horror film?
The Shining.
Oh, it was that. It came on and it was awful. I'd had a nap like the old woman that I am, and then I'd woken up to him sort of screaming, and there was those twins.
You had a nap to The Shining?
No, I had a nap and I woke up to The Shining.
Oh, okay, right.
It was horrible. That's too much.
There's this theatre in the West End, and there's a comedian called Jason Manford who tells this story that he was doing a show in this theatre, and he was on FaceTime to his son in the dressing room. So he was sat in his dressing room on FaceTime to his son, and he was talking to his son, and his son said, who's that behind you?
Oh no, don't. See?
And then Jason Manford turned around and was like, there's no one here, what are you talking about? And his son was like, there's a soldier standing behind you. Right, so there's a soldier. So Jason Manford was like, that's really weird. And then when he was chatting to the manager of the theatre, told him that story, and the manager said, that's really scary, because in 1928 or something, an actor hung himself in one of the dressing rooms, and he was playing a soldier in the play that he was in when he hung himself.
Yeah, see, that is terrible. Don't they say kids...
How do you explain that?
But kids are more susceptible to paranormal stuff, aren't they?
No, maybe that's true. Okay, let's do spooky stat of the week. How many people in Britain claim to have had a paranormal experience?
I don't know, 45% of people.
45%? Let's find out. Welcome back to Private Parts with me, Tom Lucy.
And me, Liv Bentley.
Halloween special. Let's have the spooky stat of the week. How many people in Britain claim to have had a paranormal experience? Liv, you guessed 45%. It's 28%.
That's a lot lower than I thought.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Like, whenever you say to someone, have you ever seen a ghost? Most people say, yeah.
People love to talk about it, don't they? It's
They
one of those topics that people just love to talk about. Speaking of that, do you want a spooky ghost story?
Yeah, go on then.
The most haunted house in London is apparently 50 Berkeley Square in Mayfair.
50 Berkeley Square. Why is it so scary?
It's considered to be the most haunted house in London since 1850 and has a body count to send shivers down your spine. Liv? Legend has it that amongst the ghosts of the house is that of a young girl who threw herself out the attic window, and her spirit has remained chained to the property ever since. Various eyewitness accounts claim to have seen her ghostly figure in the top window. We should go to this.
I want to go.
According to legend, the house is so charged with psychic tension, you only need to touch the exterior brickwork in order to feel a tingling sensation. Liv, we should go and do that.
Doesn't sound right, does it? Let's go and touch those bricks. I actually want to go. I love stuff like this.
Here we go. In an attempt to dispel this myth in 1880, after drinking in a local pub, a man said he would spend the night in the attic room to show there are no ghosts. He told the other guests they should only come up if he rang the bell twice in the night. They went to bed, and when he rang the bell at midnight, it was ignored. All of a sudden, the bell began to ring furiously, and the other inhabitants rushed upstairs to find him rigid with fear, eyes bulging and unable to say what he had seen. He died a few days later, mysteriously. Even today, with its current occupants, some have claimed to see and hear mysterious things in the attic room, and rumour has it if you walk past at night, when it's closed, and you look up, you may see a light on in the attic
Tonight,
window.
let's go.
See a woman in a red dress. This is amazing.
I think we should do it.
50 Berkeley Square.
What are you doing tonight?
If you're in central London at night, on your way home, walk past 50 Berkeley Square and look in the top attic window.
Shit-faced rolling out of Sexy Fish.
But you said, if you're coming out of Sexy Fish and you're angry because it's bad there.
Oh, I really want to go.
Wow, I actually really want to go. What are you looking at it on your phone? Can I see?
I'm just looking at images of it. So it's a shop, but does anyone live upstairs?
No.
It's just empty? Yeah. I wonder if we could go in there.
Liv, I'm really into this stuff.
Oh, I love this.
We should actually go.
I just want to go outside and loiter around just to...
That is really scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's actually amazing. I never knew that about that place. It's also next to Annabelle's, which is also a very terrifying building.
That's terrifying. People get mugged outside there.
Annabelle's arguably more scary. Do you think where you live is potentially haunted or not?
No, although we've got... my parents in the countryside have those odd neighbours. That is decidedly shifty. It's weird though, because I would never think of like places in London being that spooky, whereas in the countryside, some old dodgy manor house with like the headless horseman. Oh god! So when I was young, have you ever seen that, the Headless Horseman? It's not called the Headless, Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So that's filmed where I live.
Yeah.
And when we were kids, my grandpa thought it was a really fucking fun idea to take all the children on like a tour of the bit where the Headless Horseman runs through.
Yeah.
And so we'd like walk through these woods, which was right next to our house. Which was pretty fucking terrifying.
Jesus, yeah.
Weirdly, I find that quite scary, that film.
Yeah.
I love horror films, but I don't know, some, like, things like Saw I don't give a shit about, but, you know, like, actual quite spooky.
So you're not really bothered by, like, violence. It's more, like, spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Is there a TV show where they lock celebrities in haunted houses?
Yeah, the haunted thing. Whatever. I don't know if I could do that, though, but, like, people shouting at me in the dark, I wouldn't like.
What about Fright Night at Thorpe Park?
Well, we missed the boat on that.
We could do that.
We could still do that, by the way.
You know what I find weird is that there's like the amount of people who are so into ghosts and paranormal things, they've never had any like concrete proof of anything, have they? I mean, you'd think by now, after all these years and all these people who are trying to find things, they would have at least one piece of concrete evidence.
I mean, it's a hard one, isn't it?
And I think it's one of those things where if you tell yourself a room is haunted, you then start to feel like things are happening and actually they're not. It's just the fact that you've told yourself that there's something happening.
I know, I'm just trying to work it out. Like, I suppose... Well, there's no way of believing any of it, really, is there?
Do you believe in psychics and mediums?
I've gone to see a few, actually.
Have you?
And weirdly, one of them I saw a few years ago, a white witch or something. They never tell you anything negative, but this one said quite a few things that bizarrely did then happen. But
really,
but sort of strange things, yeah. And I've actually got the recording on my phone.
Interesting.
And weirdly said something.
She said some things that actually happened.
That have happened, yeah.
Yeah.
And like she said something about Rory, which is odd.
Really?
And this was 4 or 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But it's weird though, because those sorts of things, I never know if you sort of like preempt them, but then some things you can't really like.
Well, I wonder, like, I went to see one a few years ago and they said, when you're 26, something really big is going to happen. And I was like 22 at the time, and they said when you're 26. But then it's one of those things where at the time you can't prove whether that's true or not.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's one of those things where because someone's told you that, you then live your life in a way that something big happens because you've been told. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're not actually predicting anything. They're sort of telling you how to behave.
No, what? As in you think that's what they're doing? They're telling you what?
I'm saying that if you went to see a medium and they said something big's going to happen in 4 years, there's no way of knowing at the time whether that's real or not. But you leave going, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, what? And then you almost like manifest.
And then you manifest that something's going to happen.
Yeah, but sometimes the ones I've gone to never put time limits on things because there's like.
Yeah.
Actually, and I had one with my ex, which was this was a little bit odd. It was over FaceTime that I did with this guy, and I didn't actually tell my ex I was doing it. And at the time, he was about to do a show, and this psychic guy, and no one knew the show that he was doing. Anyway, this psychic guy basically said, the guy you're with is doing a show either in 7 days from now or 7 weeks. It was 7 days. And he said, the one they want to win has a nasty accident and your boyfriend will win. Anyway, bizarrely, one of the guys got injured really badly and my ex did win the show, which is odd. And it would like that. It was a bit weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Well, we should get somebody on here.
Yeah, well, it's weird though because when I was younger, I was more like up for listening to all this stuff. But then now I'm like, you don't want to jinx it. I get nervous that you're going to jinx it. Says the girl who used to fuck around doing Ouija boards with her sisters. Like, honestly, all I did was a fun night and we had this crazy American housekeeper who used to do it with us, and we'd like light candles and lay out things, and like chant. It was a lot.
Your childhood sounds really traumatic.
Country life is fun, you know.
Yeah, there's not a lot to do, is there?
But then it's like, there's paranormal stuff and then there's other stuff. Like I don't think was a ghost thing, but you know sometimes when people die and so people say, oh, you'll see a sign. So whether it's like a white feather or something. When my granny died, we all wore pink roses on our blazers. And I visibly remember throwing the rose away after the funeral. Anyway, a few weeks later, I went back to put that blazer on and the rose was back on it. I then found the other
maybe
rose.
It would be quite good, because I am a little bit sceptical about it. Maybe it would be quite good if we could do something together where you sort of...
a seance. Let's turn the lights off.
Convince me that it's real.
Okay.
I'm into this 50 Berkeley Square thing.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
interesting.
quite up for that. Why don't we just go and have a look?
Should we just go and look at it?
Let's go have a nice dinner at somewhere and then roll on
Sexy
over.
fish.
Yeah. I, for the first year ever, bought a ticket for the Battersea fireworks. I'm always so late to this stuff.
This year?
This year.
That's exciting.
But they sell out tickets for fireworks night. People go wild for it.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Why?
I don't know. Everyone loves it. I mean, I love it.
Battersea Park fireworks. I've never been to it.
I've never been.
Is
either.
it meant to be really good?
Yeah.
So they have like somebody performing.
I've never been there before.
Snoop Dogg. I have seen a lot of adverts for it on the tube at the moment, so maybe they're really trying to plug it this year. Isn't there something in Parsons Green in the middle of...
That's the carol singing, which is actually really fun. The
yeah.
other one is the 12 pubs of Christmas. Just love a booze up. This is the problem, really, isn't it? You just roll from summer into all these festive
Yeah, you can always
things.
find a reason to drink, can't you? Summer's like, oh, the weather's nice. Christmas is like, oh, well, it's Christmas. Halloween, it's scary. Let's have a cocktail. January, well, it's pretty bleak. Let's have a drink. Please do get in touch if you have any weird paranormal experiences. We love reading them out, and we'd love to hear if you live in a haunted house or if anything weird has happened. contact@privatepartspodcast.com.
Oh my God, wait, sorry. I've just realised something on this whole thing. Didn't a medium or a white witch person find that woman's body? You know the woman who went missing earlier this year? This is interesting. What was her name? Sarah? Nicola something, who went missing. And then they found this medium then said where her body was going to be, and that's when they eventually found the body.
Wow.
That stuff I find nuts.
Wow. Well, we should try and do that.
That's proof.
Get a
actually.
Private Parts exclusive body find.
I find stuff like that fascinating.
Well, if you're a listener and you've found a body, why not get in touch? Contact@privatepartspodcast.com, @privatepodcast on all the socials, youtube.com/privateparts to watch the episodes, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.